Alright y'all, welcome back to the channel and to some more turkey patterning, and today we've got a combo that one of you guys requested to see, and I'm definitely excited to see what it can do as well, since I think we should see a pretty nasty pattern from them. We've tested this choke a couple times in the past with some very nice results already, and we know what these shells can do, so putting the two of them together should work out pretty well for us. But first up, for the shells we're running, I brought out some more of the Winchester Longbeard XR loads. These ones are the 12 gauge, 3-inch, 1 3/4 ounce payload of 6s at about 1200 feet per second. We know these are a very nasty performing load through the vast majority of choke combos you put it through. And one of you guys requested to test some lead 6s through today's combo, thus why we're starting here. I figured this will be just as good as any, and if this don't give us a good pattern, then pretty much nothing will through this combo. So we should have a good shell today for sure. But for our setup, I brought out my Remington 870 special purpose. This one's got a 26-inch barrel on it, and we're going to be running this choke. This is a Hevi-Shot turkey choke. It's a 662 constriction. We've tested it a couple times with some very nice results, like I said previously, and you don't see a ton of 662 constriction chokes. But one of you guys wanted to see some lead 6s run through this, and it should be a very nice combination if everything works out the way I think it's going to. So as for today's test, we're running everything the same as usual. The turkey target's at 40, and we got the chrono to get our velocity. So let's get you guys a view of that target. We'll take our shot, and hopefully we'll see the devastating results that I think we're going to wind up seeing. I've got high hopes for it for sure, so let's take our shot and see what we can get. All right, that shell gave us 1209 through the chrono. Boss claim is 1200, so we're right on the money from that 26-inch barrel. Looking good here, so let's go check out our target. All right, so here's our 40-yard target, and we definitely see some very nasty looking results here. We did favor a touch high and a touch to the right. That's kind of my fault. I forgot that I need to get rid of the mid-rib bead on that barrel, so that way I can actually sink that front bead a little bit farther and actually be able to see it, because on those Carlson's barrels, for one reason or another, they shoot high unless you get rid of the mid-rib bead. So I kind of forgot about that. That one's on me, but this is why we use the big backing target, so we can actually see our entire pattern here, and it's pretty nasty for sure. We absolutely still have a dead bird at 40. We covered that bird's head and neck area with shot, so yeah, he would have been dead right there immediately. But our core is probably up about the top right corner of that turkey target, and it's a pretty hot one as well. There's a ton of pellets within about an 8-inch spread right there. We do have a little bit of a void kind of just below that word splattering up there in the top of that turkey target. Nothing major though. It's smaller than a golf ball. So we still have a very nice, very hot core area to them, which is about what I would expect from these shells. Outside of that, we do open it up a little bit. We start getting a little bit splotchy up here just off the top middle of that turkey target. And of course, these are a lead 6. It's not uncommon at all that we throw a couple little stringy pellets or flyers like down there off the bottom and stuff, and over here off the left out of those type of shells. So nothing out of the usual there. But looking at that pattern as a whole, it's still a very devastating combination, no doubt about it. I think we have seen a little bit more even of a spread from those particular shells compared to what we saw here today anyway. But this is still not a combo you can argue with one bit. And this is kind of about what I thought we would see overall. I figured we'd have a pretty hot core with a little bit of stringy stuff around the edges. Usually when it comes to these Longbeard 6s, once you get tighter than 665 especially, they start having that really hot core while opening the edges up a little bit. And the tighter you go, the more apparent that becomes. I found that 660 works great for them with certain chokes, but 665 is probably about where you want to be. This being a 662 kind of splits that difference, and I think we got that. We have that hot core, but we did start to kind of throw a little bit of stuff around that hot core area. Not a bad pattern by any stretch of the imagination. I definitely wouldn't hesitate to hunt with that combo one bit. That's a 40-yard capable pattern, no doubt about it. So I would say once again, that Hevi-Shot 662 gave us a pretty nice looking result here. If we had that centered up just a little bit more, it would be even more devastating looking on the actual target. But I guess I will go ahead and pop up a 10-inch equivalent circle here in editing over our core so you guys can see just how many pellets there are in there. And it's a lot of them for sure. So at this point, I think we're kind of rambling here. Pattern can speak for itself. When it comes to lead and a 12 gauge, just buy yourself a Longbeard XR shell and call it a day. Doesn't really matter too much what turkey choke you've got, they're gonna pattern well. So some nice results here today for sure. And here's the wad out of that shell. Some of the new Longbeard shells have this yellow color wad, but it is the same thing that we've seen, just a different color plastic. Now this took a nosedive and hit the ground pretty hard. It kicked up a dust cloud. So that's probably why we bent some of the petals like we did on it, but you can see around the edges, there's no major damage or nothing like that. We're not tearing anything or poking pellets through. Nothing stuck down in there, so the wad did exactly what it was supposed to do. Nothing I'm concerned with here. Alright y'all, well, what did you think about that performance right there? That's a pretty nasty looking core area. For a lead load, you can't argue with that kind of performance. And that's just the way it goes with these Longbeard loads. When it comes to their standard, regular design, black box, 1 3/4 ounce loads, they're a nasty shell through just about anything you put them through when it comes to turkey chokes, that's for sure. I have run into some problems with the 50th anniversary and the NWTF boxes, so I would stay clear of those box designs. They had some inconsistency issues, but these regular black box designs are still absolutely hammers. So very devastating pattern there today. We've got a hot core with some leeway to work with as well, although it may not be the ultimate best performing combo that we've ever seen with these shells, but I mean, you can see it for yourself there. You can't really complain too much about that. We might have got a little bit stringy and splotchy around the very edges, but a turkey isn't gonna care. That is a bad day for a turkey out to 40 yards all day long, and you could push that to 45 and potentially 50 as well. You're gonna have the pattern to do it. It's just how far do you want to push a lead 6? Inside of 50 yards, you're gonna be just fine, especially if you're hitting them with a complete handful wad of pellets like we would there. So leave all your thoughts down below. Is that about what you expected to see? Were you a little surprised one way or the other? Have you tested any of these Longbeard 6s through one of those Hevi-Shot 662 chokes, or run any other type of shell through one? And if so, what kind of results have you seen from it? Is this a pattern or a combo you hunt with? Or would you prefer to see it a little tighter, maybe a little bit more broader and even of a pattern? Or is that about exactly what you're looking to see? And what other shell combos do you want to see us run through that Hevi-Shot 662 that you think might be a good performer? Let me know all that down below. But with that being said, I've got some more testing to get done for you guys, so I'm going to get back to it. As always, we have the channel Instagram as well as the mailbox where you can send stuff if you'd like. All the information will be in the description if you're interested in it, but I'm going to get back to it, so I'll see y'all in the next one.